What's up guys, welcome back to a new Kangen Omega chapter video. Today we have chapter 131. Not a very long chapter, but the stuff we learn is pretty crazy regarding the fans of, power ranking, the power scaling aspect of Kangen. Some very cool stuff regarding Oma and what he's pulling out. Lolong being an absolute beast, the appearance of the almighty beard, and a few other things to discuss. Hope you enjoy. If you do, make sure to subscribe, leave a like to help the video out. Now, let's begin. So the title of the chapter is The Clan's Technique, of course referring to what Oma pulls out at the end of the chapter. But we start out with Kuroki talking about how he drawed against Lolong in the past, pretty much confirming what we learned last chapter about a past fight between Lolong and Kuroki, with him saying not even I can win all the time, but of course he says it in a way that kind of implies he doesn't really lose as well. So yeah, pretty cool. Kuroki, absolute legend. Also showing interest in wanting to fight Lolong again by saying, and we will settle our score one day. And for some reason, this came to this weird assertion that due to Oma pushing Kuroki when he was almost dying at the end of Ashura, would mean he's stronger than Lolong because he drawed against Kuroki. Remember, that was like probably 20 years ago. Kuroki improved immensely, Lolong definitely improves immensely with like 400 plus wins in Purgatory and what he's demonstrating now. So just because he drawed against someone who Oma almost defeated in Ashura doesn't, by default mean he can, be stronger than him. It's kind of stupid. But we also have Kuroki, respecting Oma, saying he has reached even higher heights, of course referring to his pre-initiative. So regarding Kuroki's whole appearance in this chapter, he doesn't really add anything new, just reinstating stuff we kind of got told last chapter. But it's always cool to see Kuroki confirm various things. Always, great to see the almighty beard. But from there we cut to the fight between Lolong and Oma, with Oma still trying to use his pre-initiative but Lolong still tagging him, not doing significant damage from these strikes, but still tagging him, showing that his pre-initiative isn't like completely countering him. And then this is where we get some pretty insane reveals. So we have Gowlang questioning how Lolong's actually landing these blows on, Oma, because Oma's using pre-initiative. Also confirming that pre-initiative is the apex of foresight, so the most powerful technique in foresight is pre-initiative, which kind of means that Kano, Kuroki, Carlos, Oma, Lolong are all above the likes of Canada when it comes to foresight mastery, because pre-initiative is the pinnacle of it. We kind of learned this in Ashura as well, with Canada actually saying Kuroki Gensai has the pinnacle of foresight, so just confirming it in a better perspective from Gowlang here. Of course, if you don't remember, pre-initiative is dodging before the opponent moves. But then we get something pretty crazy from Gowlang. He says there's only one way to counter that, to strike quicker than the opponent's prediction. Meaning Gowlang's strikes are by far the fastest in the verse by a pretty crazy margin, and he can counter pre-initiative. As we know, Carlos is one of the fastest characters in the verse, probably the fastest in the tournament. The only character we've seen which is probably faster movement wise is Amped Ray, but Carlos also has pre-initiative on top of that, and Gowlang's striking speed is so fast he can counter Carlos's speed and pre-initiative on top of that, which is very broken. So the Gowlang fans are eating well, and the Gowlang haters, you can go cry somewhere else, but Gowlang is absolutely busted with that statement. But the way Lolong is countering Oma's pre-initiative is different, as Gowlang states Lolong isn't that quick. Of course his striking speed isn't as fast as his own, but he's still able to land strikes on Oma who uses pre-initiative. Of course, the one to work out what's going on is Kano Agito, as he did a similar thing in his fight against Kuroki Gensai where they had their pre-initiative exchange. So what Lolong is doing, he's predicting the dodge, pretty much meaning he's using a higher level of pre-initiative compared to Oma. They're both predicting, but Lolong is out-predicting Oma, allowing him to land these strikes. They're still fairly relative because Oma is able to prepare or get his guard and kinda, parry/dodge most of these attacks, only getting tagged, not getting like major hits. So they're relative, but Lolong is the step above, showing there are in fact levels of pre-initiative mastery. And it's kinda hard to say like who's at the top, Kroki could still be the best pre-initiative master, it could be Lolong now, but yeah, just learning that there's levels to it, and Lolong's prediction is further than what Oma can. And of course, with Lolong using this further prediction, he strikes before Oma moves to land these blows. And we actually see him landing cleaner blows on Oma, which pushes Oma to pull out his Adamante Kata Indestructible to burn them, kinda showing the power of Lolong strikes in, pushing Oma to pull this out, or they'll do pretty significant damage. So people who aren't crazy tanks or have Nico style Indestructible may be in trouble from this a few blows from the likes of Lolong, even with him using this, soft style, Salat based fighting style currently. We see both of them step away from one another. We have the audience, clapping for the high level exchange between both of them. However, Lolong hasn't even broken a sweat according to Clown Boy and Dongchen calling him a monster. So Lolong is, living up to his hype currently. And then we see a similar panel to what we got between Kroki and Ray back in Asha, of Lolong drawn like an absolute monster compared to like the small regular person of Oma. And then Lolong saying, drop this pretentious master act, pretty much implying that Oma hasn't currently mastered pre-initiative. Which may beg the question of who is the best pre-initiative master, because of course Kroki is a master of it. Kano was kinda relative to Kroki in pre-initiative mastery, so maybe those three are masters. Carlos does say he's a master himself, but was shocked that Oma had reached the same level, so maybe Carlos isn't on the same level as Lolong or something like that, or maybe Oma just isn't on the full mastery level yet, or maybe just Lolong's mastery is so much more, he's considering Oma not a master of it. But we have Oma looking very similar to Faye in this panel we got during his Waka fight, which is pretty interesting. He says, I thought I'll go a little longer than this, but I guess I'm not quite there yet, again confirming what Lolong's saying, he's not fully mastered it. He changes his stance, they get very close, they slowly step in, building up the tension, and then they chuck strikes at one another, with Cosmos saying, damn that's scary, a crazy exchange between both of them, probably the coolest panels of today's chapter, with the likes of Misasa being absolutely stunned by the exchange between both of them. Pretty much the only time Misasa has been stunned this much, pretty much showing that those two are on a completely other level compared to the likes of him. Towa's stunned, Falcon saying he's on another level, with both of them dodging, parrying and not landing any direct blows on one another. And then the final panel, we cut to Kurekala screaming, yay, it's the Kure techniques, you've finally mastered them, Oma. So over the 2 years, Oma just hasn't been recovering, hasn't been, doing daily matches with Kure Ryan and all that. He's been learning the Kure clan techniques, and he has now, according to Carla, mastered them, which is pretty insane. But even more insane, Lolong still is chilling against full mastery of Kure techniques. We saw what Kure techniques did to the likes of Alan from Kure Ryan, but Lolong just, chilling here. Of course, we don't get any names of the Kure clan techniques. I think it's more so like the perfection of basic strikes, similar to Kuroki's mastery, or be considered the pinnacle of martial arts or something like that. But most likely next chapter we'll get some named versions of some of these strikes. But it's pretty crazy to think that Oma now has his mastery over the Nico style, pre-initiative, and mastery over the Kure clan techniques. Of course, I highly doubt he has removal because he's not a Kure clan member, won't be able to handle it, and it'll be kind of stupid if he has removal in advance, if I'm being honest, but still pretty crazy. He already was pretty much the most versatile fighter with his Nico style line, or at least top 3, but now definitely with pre-initiative and Kure clan techniques on top of that. And in the fight so far, this is the second chapter into the fight, we've only seen Oma use the Nico style Indestructible, which is pretty much a staple for any Nico style user that they kinda use naturally in most fights. So yeah, Oma still has yet to pull out the Nico style techniques, which may come next chapter where Lolong proves to still overcome Oma using the Kure clan techniques here, and we'll probably learn that Oma may have mastered the Kure clan techniques but hasn't perfected them, similar to his pre-initiative mastery, and will go back to using the Nico style, the martial art or the skills he has actually perfected, or something along the lines of that. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. Remember, Galang just flexes on everyone and just counters, pre-initiative by just striking fast, which is pretty insane. Oma now using Kure techniques, Lolong still being in a pretty solid position. crazy stuff. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to subscribe as always. Join the Discord to talk more about Kangan greatness, follow the Twitter for some extra cool things, and as always, shout out to the people who support the channel via the Patreon. These absolute mad lads. But yep, that's it guys. Peace.